In golf, a single moment can define a legacy. One swing can be the difference between a major championship and a devastating collapse. One decision can lead to generational wealth or financial ruin. From the pressure of a final putt to the allure of a record-breaking contract, fortunes are made and lost in an instant. Today, we're counting down the million-dollar mistakes of golf's most famous players, the on-course blunders and off-course disasters that cost them a fortune. Which mistake was the most costly? Let's find out. We begin our countdown with a mistake so painfully simple it's hard to believe it happened to a modern superstar. At the 2024 Genesis Invitational, Jordan Spieth, a three-time major champion, made an error that had nothing to do with his swing. After a tough second round, Spieth was in a rush and simply signed an incorrect scorecard. He had made a bogey 4 on the fourth hole, but signed for a par 3. The consequence was immediate and absolute disqualification. Forgetting to double-check his score cost him a chance to play the weekend at a signature event with a $20 million purse. Even a last-place finish would have netted a cool $32,000. Instead, he went home with nothing. Spieth himself took full responsibility, saying, "Rules are rules. It hurts to not have a run at the weekend." It's a brutal reminder that even for the best in the world, a simple mental lapse, a moment of haste, can vaporize a massive payday and erase a weekend of opportunity in the blink of an eye. But if a simple clerical error is costly, our next mistake was even more agonizing, costing a player his first major championship. Coming in at number 9 is a mistake born from confusion in the heat of battle. The stage was the 2010 PGA Championship at Whistling Straits. Dustin Johnson, holding a one-shot lead on the 72nd hole, had his first major title in his sights. His tee shot went way right, landing in a sandy patch of ground trampled by spectators. To Johnson, it looked like a dirt patch, not a hazard. He played his shot, got on the green, and prepared for what he thought might be a playoff. But there was a problem. A local rule for the tournament stated that every single patch of sand on the entire course was to be played as a bunker. By grounding his club before his shot, a normal action on the fairway but illegal in a hazard, Johnson had committed a penalty. Officials informed him after he finished the hole that he was being assessed a 2-stroke penalty. Just like that, his chance at the playoff was gone. He dropped to a tie for 5th place. The mistake was a brutal lesson in knowing the local rules, and it cost him a shot at the Wanamaker Trophy in one of the most painful ways imaginable. Our next mistake isn't a single shot, but a career-defining decision faced by some of golf's biggest names. The choice between legacy on the PGA Tour and a life-changing payday with LIV Golf. The emergence of LIV split the sport, with guaranteed 9-figure contracts luring away top talent. For many, it was an offer too good to refuse. But for some, was it a $1 million mistake in disguise? Consider players who were seemingly at their peak. Cameron Smith, ranked number 2 in the world after his 2022 British Open victory, was a massive get for LIV. But because LIV events don't award world ranking points, his ranking plummeted, at one point falling out of the top 100 for the first time in years. Jon Rahm, another top player who made the switch while ranked number 3, has since openly struggled to contend in major championships, the events that truly define a player's place in history. While these players are undeniably richer, Rahm's contract was reportedly worth well over $100 million. A question lingers. Did they trade their competitive prime and a chance at history for a paycheck? For some, the move has led to a noticeable absence from the leaderboards that once defined them. This isn't a mistake measured in a single tournament's prize money, but in the potential loss of something far more valuable, a legacy. At number 7, we have a man whose name is synonymous with heartbreaking collapses, but one event stands above all others: Greg Norman at the 1996 Masters. Entering the final round on April 14, 1996, Norman held a commanding 6-shot lead over Nick Faldo. He had dominated Augusta all week, tying the course record with a 63 in the first round. The green jacket, the one prize that had eluded him, finally seemed to be his. What followed wasn't just a bad round. It was one of the most legendary meltdowns in sports history. The unraveling was slow and agonizing. A bogey here, a poor approach there. Faldo, his playing partner, was a steady, predatory presence, applying relentless pressure. The 6-shot lead vanished. The turning point came at Amen Corner, where Norman's tee shot on the 12th found Rays Creek for a double bogey. Any hope of recovery was extinguished on the 16th, when another tee shot found water. Norman shot a disastrous 78 while Faldo carded a brilliant 67, an astonishing 11-shot swing. Norman didn't just lose, he lost by 5 strokes. The financial cost was immense, not just in the winner's purse, but in the endorsements that a Masters win would have guaranteed. It was a public drowning, a collapse that cemented his legacy not just as a great player, but as the master of the big stage mistake. Our countdown now moves from the pristine fairways of Augusta to the high-stakes tables of casinos. At number 6 is a man who lived his life as unapologetically off the course as he played on it, John Daly. His mistake wasn't a single bad swing, but a gambling habit that cost him a fortune that's almost hard to wrap your head around. Daly, known for his grip it and rip it style and 2 major wins, was just as aggressive with his money. By reviewing his own tax records, Daly revealed that between 1991 and 2007, his net gambling losses totaled an estimated $55 million. This wasn't just a few bad bets. It was a systematic bonfire of his career earnings. He told stories of playing 7 hands of blackjack at once for up to $15,000 per hand and feeding thousands into slot machines. In one infamous story, after losing a playoff to Tiger Woods in 2005, he drove to Las Vegas and lost $1.65 million in just 5 hours. He admitted to gambling for days straight, saying, "I love the action, I love the adrenaline." While other golfers on this list lost millions in a single moment, Daly's losses were the result of thousands of individual decisions. It stands as perhaps the most staggering off-course financial blunder in golf history. Coming in at number 5 is a collapse so sudden and so shocking, it felt like a glitch in reality. In 2016, Jordan Spieth arrived at the back 9 of the Masters on Sunday looking invincible. He was the defending champion, had just birdied 4 straight holes to build a 5-shot lead, and was poised to become one of the few players in history to win back-to-back green jackets. And then it all fell apart. The unraveling began with bogeys on 10 and 11, but those were mere tremors before the earthquake. The fatal blow came at the iconic par 3 12th hole. His tee shot, struck tentatively, never had a chance, rolling back into Rays Creek. A bad shot, but recoverable. What happened next was not. After taking a penalty drop, Spieth chunked his 3rd shot, a simple wedge, directly into the water again. In a few short minutes, a 5-shot lead was gone. He walked off the 12th green with a quadruple bogey 7. Danny Willett, who had been a distant chaser, was suddenly the Masters champion. The image of Spieth, moments after his collapse, having to present the green jacket to Willett, is one of the most gut-wrenching in sports. The mistake stripped away the air of invincibility that surrounded the young phenom. It was a $1 million mistake that echoed across the world, a brutal lesson that at Augusta, no lead is ever safe. Our 4th biggest mistake is arguably the most infamous and purely human meltdown in the history of major championship golf. It belongs to Frenchman Jean Van de Velde at the 1999 Open Championship. Van de Velde arrived at the 72nd hole with a 3-stroke lead. He needed only a double bogey 6 to become the first Frenchman in nearly a century to win the Open. What followed was a tragic comedy of errors, a sequence of decisions so baffling it has become a permanent cautionary tale. Instead of playing it safe, he pulled out his driver. The shot flew right but got lucky, avoiding the berry burn. He was still in a position to win, but then came the 2nd shot, a reckless 2-iron that ricocheted off the grandstands and into thick rough. From there, his 3rd shot found the water of the burn. The enduring images of Van de Velde, pants rolled up, contemplating playing the ball from the water before wisely taking a drop. He ended up with a triple bogey 7, forcing a playoff he would lose. The collapse cost him what would be an estimated $2.9 million in today's money, considering prize money and lost endorsements. But more than the money, it defined his career. The mistake wasn't a single bad swing. It was a total failure of course management when it mattered most. At number 3, we have a mistake so painful and self-inflicted that the player himself provided the perfect summary. "I am such an idiot." That was Phil Mickelson. After one of the most spectacular final hole collapses in major history at the 2006 US Open at Winged Foot, Mickelson stood on the 18th tee with a 1-shot lead, needing only a par to finally win the one major that had cruelly eluded him. Instead of playing a safe iron, he chose his driver, a decision that would haunt him for years. His tee shot sailed so far left, it hit a hospitality tent. Miraculously, he still had a chance, A simple punch out to the fairway would have given him a shot to save par, or, at worst, make bogey to force a playoff. But this was Phil Mickelson, the gambler. He tried to slice an iron around a tree. The ball hit a branch and dropped dead in the rough. His third shot plugged in a bunker. His fourth shot flew across the green. He made double bogey, losing the U.S. Open by a single stroke. The estimated financial toll was around $2.7 million in today's money, factoring in the purse and marketing value. But the psychological cost was incalculable. It was his best chance to conquer his white whale, and he threw it away with a series of aggressive, ill-advised shots. Before we reveal our number $1 million mistake, a moment so infamous it changed the game forever, we want to hear from you. Which of these blunders do you think was the most painful? The on-course collapse or the off-course disaster? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. And now, the number $1 million mistake in golf history. It's the most famous and perhaps the most heartbreaking blunder the sport has ever seen. It happened at the 1968 Masters, and it belonged to the great Argentinian golfer Roberto De Vicenzo. On his 45th birthday, De Vicenzo shot what should have been a brilliant final round 65, enough to force a playoff with Bob Goalby for the green jacket. But in the scorer's area behind the 18th green, history took a cruel turn. His playing partner, Tommy Aaron, had mistakenly marked a par 4 on the 17th hole, instead of the birdie 3 De Vicenzo actually made. Flustered after a bogey on the final hole, De Vicenzo signed the scorecard without catching the error. Under the rigid rules of golf, if a player signs for a score higher than what they actually shot, the higher score stands. His 65 officially became a 66. He lost the Masters by 1 stroke. There would be no playoff. When officials delivered the devastating news, De Vicenzo's reaction became one of golf's most enduring quotes. "What a stupid I am." It was a simple, gut-wrenching admission of a clerical error that cost him a major. The financial impact, when accounting for inflation and lost opportunities, is estimated to be well over $3.1 million in today's money. This mistake was so profound that every pro golfer since has been haunted by De Vicenzo's ghost, meticulously checking their scorecard. It wasn't just a $1 million mistake, it was a legacy-altering tragedy that stands forever as golf's most painful and costly blunder. From a signature on a scorecard to a risky investment, the line between fortune and failure in golf is perilously thin. The stories we've shared today aren't just about money lost, they're about the crushing weight of pressure, the complexities of wealth, and the human errors that can define a career. These $1 million mistakes serve as brutal lessons in a sport where perfection is the goal, but imperfection is the reality. They prove that in golf, sometimes the toughest opponent is yourself. Which mistake do you think was the biggest? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.